Hi, I'm Caroline Rena, and today's another day to record poem talks on the Ride of My Life podcast. And this is an interesting one because in the present moment, what I'm working through is moving towards inner peace. And it isn't about just it showing up. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't feel like it could work that way because there's a lot of stuff inside that needs to get released. And in that process, there's a part of me that I'm finding that is like bliss. People talk about that, serene, quiet, peaceful, loving, not this anxious ridden, fearful, angry, sad, ashamed person. It's like openness. It's just flowy air feeling. And some days, obviously some days as I walk through this process, those days aren't always that flowy or blissful or anything like that, because this journey is a continuation consistently of releasing these energies that no longer serve me. And that seems to be how this works, at least for me. And it's different for everybody because we're all different. We all have individual fingerprints. We all have individual ways of healing. We all have physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever that is. And being able to start really, really walking into this place of like complete and utter joy and peace is not something that I'm quite used to. However, I really like the feeling. And the other thing that came to me, like I'm preparing again to go back out on the road. And I will be sharing short videos of what's going on with that. And hopefully you'll see this one before I go out on the road, because I'm recording these ahead of time. So what's happening is that in this moment, I am learning that my need and desire to be seen and heard came from the wounds that I was not seen and heard as a child, nor as an adult. And I could not break through that. Now I'm noticing that what I call and have researched about is reparenting. Like, as I have been reparenting myself to be the mother and father that I've always wanted, and to hear the words from them that I always needed to hear, there was also a piece of that where I wanted to be seen and heard by them, and that did not happen for me. And as a highly sensitive person who happens to also be, for those of you who are in the human design world, a projector, who also happens to be an Enneagram 4, which also all happen to kind of connect the same way, but there's little differences, which is kind of cool. I'm finding that, like, I'm not in this. I've never, as much as I tried to squeeze myself into this, this box of fitting in, I've never been able to do that because I'm not supposed to. And the seeing and the feeling piece of that is coming out where, the seeing and the hearing piece of that is coming out where I am starting to see myself for who I truly am, and to hear myself for who I truly am, and to be able to follow this guidance, my intuition, these things that are coming up for me and showing me the direction to go in, which has always eluded me throughout my life because I kept looking out there for that direction. And what I'm doing right now in this process is I'm sequestering. I'm not isolating anymore. I'm sequestering in North Carolina. And within the next couple of weeks, we'll start to head out on my new inner peace adventure. And I do not know what that looks like. And you may see this like right about the same time that I am starting that, but irrelevant. time is not linear, it's circular, so it doesn't seem to matter. But anyway, so I wanted to share with you a poem that I had written. I think this is about the time last year as I was going into the depths of my healing journey, where I started to write these poems more frequently. At some point, it happened every day, but I forgot to look at that. So that's all right. But anyway, so this particular poem is called Hear Me. And I'm starting at this point to see the balance. It doesn't mean that I'm fully there, because I know after this point that I started going back down, and then I came back up again, and then I went back down again. And it was just, it's like a roller coaster. The journey's a roller coaster ride. It's whatever it looks like, where it's not like straight. It's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. Like I look at it as a song that my former partner and I wrote it, and he added the beautiful music to it. It was called Hummingbird, or no, Flight of the Hummingbird. And it's like, let's see if I can remember this. Up, down. I can't remember it. I'd have to play. I think I'd have to just add it to this, but anyway, but the hummingbird moves everywhere, up, down, backwards, forwards, following the flight of the hummingbird. And that seems to be what I'm doing now, that my inner spirit is about joy. Even my middle name, yeah, Rena, is joy. The hummingbird is about joy. So this is the journey to inner peace, love, and joy. And it just feels so cool to do this. I don't have to do what I used to do and feel miserable and isolated and all this stuff that was going on. And it was so painful. And anyway, the point behind doing these is to share the poems, to show that there are infinite possibilities, especially because we are infinite beings, on how to shift our lives into these spaces of peace and bliss, and all of the stuff that most of us really want, but we don't know we want it because we are so focused on what's out there. Spending time on social media, watching what everybody else does, feeling worse about ourselves because we're watching what everybody else does and they're doing all these wonderful things. And like, me being the person that used to be out doing these things and watching people do them now is interesting, because sometimes I feel excluded, and then sometimes I feel connected, even in that space of being like not with anybody. It's weird. It's really hard to explain. Anyway, hopefully maybe somebody will understand what I just said. I don't know. But okay, so here's the poem, and it's called Hear Me, and it was written on July 31st, 2021. Hear me, see me, know that I am love. The beauty inside is there. There is no fear. See me, love me, know that I feel the energy of my soul, the deepest part of me. This is the place I have been looking for. When I started searching everywhere outside myself, I found pieces of me in each one of you. The people in my life, my children, especially my children. To learn from them has been the deepest connection ever to have with myself. They knew me when they spoke without knowing me at all. Children, the understanding from the time they are small continues to be what I listen to. They have a depth to them that an adult cannot see sometimes. To listen to the children is to learn about ourselves. Hear them. Even when we get frustrated with them, we get to look at ourselves when we were their age and remember. Remember how we felt, how we behaved, and how we struggled. To know that the first glimpse of a child is a glimpse into the depth of our very soul. Hear me, know me, look deep inside me, find me, and know that even my inner child is the same as the outer children. That child, the one that always wanted to be cherished, loved, and cared for. That child that was so scared and didn't know how to respond. Oh, but she knew. She is smart. She took care of me until I saw she needed me to take care of her. She was the one that showed up, even in adulthood, to protect me. She was the one that knew I needed help and did it the only way she knew how. At each age, she showed up. That little girl, the one who used to hide in the closet when she couldn't understand the adult world around her, the one who continued to hide in isolation when she grew up, is the same girl who was just asking for help and guidance, and especially for love. To connect with her in love now, she becomes me and I become her. Hear me, see me, know me in that the little girl that was my mother, and the little girl that was my daughter, and the little girl that was me. We all just wanted to be heard and be loved. So please hear me and know that you are precious and cherished and beautiful. And those little girls, all the little girls, have the opportunity to be loved and held. Find those little girls and just love them. Hear us, see us, know us, love us, and hold space for us to heal. Wow. Okay. So what this feels like to me in this moment, because it was written over a year ago now, or almost a year ago, was first the divine feminine that a lot of women are starting to find again, and even a lot of men, and connect with. In the process of that connection with the soul. And that's something that I'm also noticing on this journey as I'm doing these little processes where I literally ask and allow my soul to just kind of be there with me. And that's where that space of like openness and bigness and bliss and, you know, all that, it makes my body vibrate, my body hum. And it's so incredibly, I think the only word I can use right now is awakening. It's awakening to that divine feminine. It's awakening to that little girl in all of us, women, and the divine feminine in all of the men. To recognize that we are human and we are infinite, eternal. And I don't know what that means in this moment yet. I feel like it's coming to me, but this is actually being downloaded because I don't really understand what it is that I'm saying, and hopefully some of you will. I know that it's part of my process, which is why I'm doing this. But I know that our connection to our soul is the thing that brings us to those things that a lot of us have been desperately looking for through external validation, through external things, through, you know, all these things that are going on in our lives that we don't even have time to sit and be with ourselves. We are the most important people in our lives. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else who really needs to be taken care of sometimes. And that's when we run ourselves ragged. That's when we burn ourselves out. That's when we don't believe that there's something different or better out there. That's when we start becoming addictive because it's something that can quiet all that madness down. And being able to just recognize that it's a choice that we all can make, a choice that we have a right to make, the choice for inner peace, the choice to be in this moment and be thankful for this moment. I feel like this energy that I'm feeling right now is of love, and it's being released. And I don't know what that means either. It just feels like it's going out to everyone. And I don't know. I mean, I hope that you feel it as much as I'm feeling it, putting it out there. And when I say putting it out there, I'm not talking about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what the energy is, the beauty of the energy of love, the beauty of the energy of peace, and feeling that within your heart and your soul and connecting to it. And there is a way to get there, especially those of you who have known me most of my life, or, you know, a good chunk of my life, when I wasn't in this space of like, well, first of all, even being able to talk like this, but the calmness has come, is here. The peace feels like it's so important now more than ever to find this inner peace. Because when we become peaceful, everything outside of us becomes peaceful, which includes the world. But we can't start with the world, because if we're not peaceful, we're angry within ourselves and we're angry about things that are going on, and we go out into the world trying to create peace. It kind of backfires. It doesn't create peace. It creates more anger because the anger is still there, or the sadness, or whatever else, the fear, especially the fear. So on this day, I would love to suggest or put out there that you take 5 minutes of your life to just sit and breathe and be with yourself and make the choice to begin to find the peace. It's not going to happen right away. I'm telling you right now, it's taken me my whole life, well, 30 plus years of healing work, and then my whole life to even understand what this is. And there are options to find it. There are ways to find it. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm always here. And I just really, really put out there that this moment, even just in this moment that we're together, in this energy, that you can feel some of this peace and know that there's a potential for more, an infinite possibility for more peace within you and then within the world. So thank you for being here on the ride of my life. And I'm so grateful, and have a wonderful, beautiful moment and plenty of peace. Thank you.